Bună ziua tuturor! Este o plăcere pentru mine să vă pot transmite acest mesaj online. Deși m-ați fi bucurat să ne vedem fizic, după cum veți afla și astăzi, agenda unui ambasador este de multe ori încărcată și neprevăzută. Good morning, everybody. Thank you, and it is my great pleasure to speak in front of you. My theme today is the role of ambassador. However, I would like to start by defining what is diplomacy. Then we can move to talk on the role of ambassador. We say by default international relations and international diplomacy. From this, we can infer that diplomacy is something happening between states, defending national interests in relations with other states. That is the common concept of diplomacy, as we all know. However, we have to stop here and think about the states. My question is to you is that, can state actually talk and negotiate? Can state itself participate numerous UN conferences? No. I, you, and the people actually talk, negotiate, and attend conference. The state itself is conceptual being, abstract and notional concept, and international relations can be reduced to actually interpersonal relations between persons. This leads us to conclude that the art of diplomacy comes down to actually how to deal with other people. Diplomacy, when we define it as relations between persons, can be differentiated from usual interpersonal contacts. First, diplomacy is conducted by someone who represents his or her state. I myself, not as a natural person, but as representatives of the Republic of Korea, talk, negotiate, and dine with other people who is representing his or her country. Second, diplomacy is conducted on specific aim, purpose, and in doing so, agenda setting is very important part of diplomacy. We are not talking about daily lives, routine things. I'm not negotiating with others on the weather conditions of friendships and loves. In dealing with other people, on specific purpose and agenda, the most important thing to bear in mind is to make a balance. One cannot take all, with my counterpart losing face or suffering damage. We have to structure the situation in which everyone gains something, a win-win situation. For this, you have to be able to put yourself sometimes in the shoes of the other person. Then, what makes a good diplomat? What makes a good ambassador? During my 27 years in foreign service, I have developed still a habit of taking a look at calendars and the maps and trying to cultivate my own visions and perspectives. First, calendar. It is about learning the lessons from history and predicting what will happen in the near future. I will quote Winston Churchill as saying that the farther back you can look, the further forward you are able to see. Second, maps. I believe that the geolocations will affect the calculations and behavior of a specific certain state. In short, what I think depends on where we are and where we sit. If you take a look at the map in this region and also the Northeastern Asian region, Romania is situated in the eastern flank of the free world. Likewise, Korea is located at the northern tip of the free world. Although Korea and Romania is world apart from each other with 8,000 kilometers distance, still our two countries share the common geopolitical context, which will pave the way for further cooperation in the security and defense area. And the third, about values and perspectives. I believe that the history of human being, our civilization, is, however slowly, heading towards a specific values and destinations. Yes, there have been and there will be some ups and downs in our history. Sometimes we suffered and we will suffer wars, regress, instabilities. However, looking back as far as prehistoric era up to now, the history have surely been evolving, centered on democratic values of freedom, human rights, and common prosperity. However we suffer from sudden crises and instabilities, I have a firm belief that our common universal values will prevail after all. This kind of beliefs and perspectives are very important in conducting diplomacy. And lastly, the main theme and the role of the ambassador. In a nutshell, I can define the role of the ambassador as having the dual functions. I'm the ambassador of the Republic of Korea in Romania, representing Republic of Korea in Romania. But at the same time, I'm executing another role to support Romania in Republic of Korea. Republic of Korea and Romania has been the strategic partners since 2008, based upon the shared common values, democracy, market economy, and the human rights. So that's the reason why I have to execute my dual function. So again, represent Republic of Korea in Romania, și sprijin România în Republica Korea. That's my job. That's my role as the ambassador of Republic of Korea in Romania. I would like to conclude by quoting a well-known proverb that the real voyage of discovery lies not in seeking new lands, but seeing with new eyes and perspectives. Indulging only in daily lives will lead us nowhere. Please set your sights high and keep trying to go there with your own vision and perspectives. Mulțumesc!